Yenya kwanya ye adwuma sinto bia akwansidie bia animo. Ye be nsentofo ye welfare ye yiedie senetie ewo man emu. Enti na ye daidie nsentofo ye ho nkomo ene ye ba bedi. Enti ye call Ghana Journalists Association ekuo no ahweye ema yenya the public affairs officer edema GJA Obahema Rebecca Ekpe yenene ba abedi enkomo. Good evening.
Good evening, Bongo.
Amampania Kufa Rebecca, my beautiful Rebecca. Rebecca from Hofepao.
Nyamia body. Yadasi.
Nyamia Shiramankasa.
Yadasi.
Hofe.
Nyamia body.
Gigi Aswe Bokodi.
Bibia Boko, Bongo.
Mo president, Ora Abedumfo. By Obojuma.
Pa, sa.
Obojuma, papa.
Sa. You know, move with him, no.
United president. Hey, say United, Mr. President. United
president of the Ghana Journalists Association.
Yes, United Kakuno.
Sir.
Yo, Rebecca, yen shenko manase. Na yen share ene World Press Freedom Day. Ehon efa share ye wo Ghana. Kufodua, Okuobi, eko saying boy nkomo kakra.
Yo, medase Bongo. Answer na me share say no. Me pese me pay tribute to journalists for nyina ensentro for nyina.
Okay.
Ewo Ghana.
Yo.
Omo sha se adwuma na ansa na ye ebinum ye be source no. Ye bom omo abaso na ye do mo asese omo etu sa na mo ya ene. Yenso ya besom.
All right.
Inti no ene ye celebrate World Press Freedom Day. World Press Freedom Day anamobia UNESCO, United Nations Scientific Cultural Organization, a UN organization, set a day aside to celebrate journalists and draw attention to the plight of journalists, as well as the plight of human rights, any democracy in general. Now, freedom of expression, here pa, say, Kabina menkebi, say anywhere, not just any democracy.
Okay.
Inti journalists for Yejumana are very important, not only locally but internationally, globally. Efa bibia yehu.
Okay.
Because menkebi na won kebi, and just say obia so nte de ekoso na input to any de piano about no. It's very important to recognize the work of journalists.
I say a cancro for kasa shomiyem untimin kasa.
I was say omutime kasa.
Okay.
Who can be, where can be, and tiasiaba, not just say ye ko yenim.
Sapepe.
And tia no na UN aseti and ne aside.
Okay.
And tia ejumadia ye ko di no ewo. Kufoedua and say Ghana no, we were united globally. Say Ghana no, ye can countries the world ni nyina ho enne.
Okay.
And yes celebrating World Press Freedom Day. Now, what happens in the past had happened in the past. They say GJ na ya near one crying has say, ya near your press center so bekaya journalists when ya yeshimo. But under the leadership of Mr. Albert Jumfono, president of the GJ,
okay,
and the whole executive they decided. They said this time round no, you be any differently. And they say ya de ejumadieno eko pie. Kufoedua, under the leadership of His Royal Highness Omahin of Jabing traditional area, Nana Kweku Boateng III.
Ono na betra dwam.
Pachon ai inti sanka wo hwe TV anapana obehu se yenya ahemfo ni nyina ama omo be die display pa na FE Ghana colors wa wo hwa enu atade na omo hye no ne bibia bi. In fact the color any a lot of appeal and a lot of interesting drama about the whole celebration program no ho omo mobile nyina ka say program media difference abemu pa so ahemfo ne baby and sisi I was minister for deputy minister for former deputy minister, now information minister designate Fatima to Abubakar Ebe Onwankasa baby.
Oh, okay.
Ebe Kasai regional minister said Kwame Achampon.
Yeah.
And also Ebe Jumedi na say
for Eastern region.
For Eastern region.
Okay.
Dr. Krugu EPA penino.
Okay.
So by pa na unim say theme no idea was say ye can ho asem pa environment.
Butaya ne da djumadina mudi enso.
Leveraging journalism for sustainable environment and future. I say journalists for no and then na ye efa environments no. We say there are so many issues that are happening to us our environment and ye Ghana globally. Into you and a tusa na mwaka say I was say you pay attention to issues na happen land degradation Ghana how your friend Galam say those issues no was say young journalists for no yet na say you so same way because environment ni ewo mu no say say na nature say kebi na me ke bi cry enti me enye because it was a protected environment around us.
Okay.
Now globally no and locally who say a journalist no that was say yes start a conversation no journalists no you will role be a mandate your friend agenda setting conversation no yeah journalist no was yes start a conversation no
set agenda
no I just say yeah say UTV say mo breakfast show name other shows no mo be kika ho asem na say nya so
say UTV ya bua pa
and ankomo no and ankrofo na ye provide information to them. You know, one of the mandates of the media, and say you better provide education, information. In some na ye kano, not just almost no muti. Say was say ye say my degrading environment, you protect it because environment no you protect it for your future. Ye ensure na ye nomne water bodies na exactly.
Okay.
Inti eneno that was the papa. Okay. Almost all the speakers now pointed to the fact that as journalists, we really need to reignite the conversation. In fact, President Jumfo Eka says, I was here call back say, a few people are doing it. We know them.
Okay.
The journalists are almost sumu. But I was say more hands should be on deck to drum home the message. Say it is important to protect the environment, and everyone has to be on board. And journalists never say you can more than we are doing currently. Okay,
Rebecca Minsamra Hona share the 2024 Global Press Freedom Ranking. Aba previous year 2023. Now the whole world Ghana a total 62 out of 180 countries. Say yaba 50th. Does it mean say in Central for a woman fahudie no ekoye ya yade ana say still ano you betime bibia fa ho
bongo asem no waka ne pepepe esa ya idea so o say yeah brody friend to sustain the gains ampa so for the last 3 years just say your global press rankings no you will equal be a friend Reporters Without Borders.
Okay.
Reporters Without Borders. No more na omoye ranking for media. Say who did Jumadie bia e was say we say ade a wo ye no wo ko wanim wo ba we chen na den na wo ya wo de ko wanim na den ya wo ya ema wo bait.
Okay.
Esa na no was strategizing for your media ecosystem no. You were Reporters Without Borders. Omo ranking no na you follow. Inti o kan pepepe. Nanka you were 62. Sisia no nyame adom out of 180 countries no. Sisia we are at 50.
But just like Ghana you near chire do.
Oh, you were chemo but we are improving given what we have right now. Now we share indicators no so omo dey here for improvement no. And nyama was say we dey ko winim no. One of the issues that Crawford usually obo point attack on journalists. Now obehwa Mr. Jumfo aye abo hu dey bebre about attacks on journalists, and he's been very vociferous on the issue that we need to protect journalists and we need to allow journalists to be free to express themselves. And also no actions be taken collectively together with stakeholders in protecting the space and also to defend journalists in their practice. No, as name and shame. Some of the people are attacking journalists. No, UTV mo dear attacking journalists. Won't say openly no. Ya can't want some say munche na munye de efata. Nti sanya ma wenya se ye ka ho asema omo collect information omo take notice omo won say mo anya ni nanso mo take steps to address the issue. So it's very important say SMBC are taking steps to address that issue, especially for people are you protecting journalists and are you speaking for journalists, especially journalists association. It's very important that we do that because that is our mandate to protect the rights of journalists and also protect the space, the freedom of expression space na ye wono. And also one of the issues are particularly indicators are the who answer ya ranking mono. Are ranking as performing well, no? A issue of what we are calling media sustainability, the media ecosystem in terms of economics. Ubesha Ghana no, your economy ne enko ye to say there was echo, and all these things impact. The sika semno enko ye to say there was sanka. In Tisania man, it does not only impact on certain segment, it impacts on all segments of society, including the media work. Media work. And you know, it is very important to protect space way. Say the beya you bet me sustaining the gains. So for example, remember our example being say yentia journalist here. Journalists here, how to even maintain the media organizations very important. And so it also adds up to media sustainability. So the journalists being able to do their work as well as the media organization being able to sustain itself are very important, and all these are indicators. So one of the things I was here, your question was then what could we do to ensure say you maintain this space? Couldn't we have done better? Yes, we can do better. One of the things that Ghana Journalists Association here can say, media owners should pay their staff well. Okay, we'll come to that. Rebecca Ekwe, a public affairs officer, Ghana Journalists Association. My beautiful Rebecca, and you know Ebo Enkomo. Basankomo yano, yanko na yane urakweku Krobia Asante, Senior Programs Officer at Media Foundation for West Africa. Yaneni nkomo na ono so yenye na adwen check akra. Pani gase ye UTV so ni yamo adwo. Ora Krobia.
Ye nua.
Obani na bibia boko de.
Nyame adom na monso e.
Bibia boko. Ene ye nsenchofo nyina yeda enti yetiri nkwa.
You three that.
Yo, Yansha 2024 Global Press Freedom Ranking about you say Ghana, you hear about 50th position. We are seeing Media Foundation for West Africa. Mu take on it.
Many of the can made that say now Medintia Sonko ama ahefo ne etiefo nyina. Na fe aye World Press Freedom Day so Matia your colleagues and you keep on for no more year Juma. Central for more TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, all media workers no Yamina home it's Kwani Africa. Na ya say a hunting, ya say and some na that was so I Juman baby or Honma was using the entire economy. Na meba RSF ranking no so anase press freedom ranking no so. Okay. As in me journey na mo kan ho asem daga no. This it appears say ya buy nim akra so from 62 last year to 50 from 9th in Africa last year to 5th in Africa. It's a good improvement. In fact, let me share data. No, I was more interested in the methodology and the key indicators where we see improvement. I think it is around the security areas, There you can see that we have made a jump almost 20 points, which is good, right? The explanation we see is that over the 1 year period, the incidence of attacks, and the severity, so above. And then Emma who senses but and in that regard the Bobo in so all the media stakeholders, including the government. Yeah, who near Bobo we said some of the incidents that happened, redress, which is rarely an incident, development, attempt to your boost the Insaki Council in 90% of the cases are monitored Media Foundation for West Africa. No, you who say you know, never called in Insaki can a born and no fan of Modi. Centroni and Casa and 2-1 and more and Cocosa, Nedaho, and no crown or Cocosa. Send a member and Oka, you can only pursue a civil case. Two bones they are funny and winning civil cases, no, but the criminal case aspect of the cases now by no any number no atonas around now, the jatu, and if I could ordinance Sakikan, no, ordinance Sakikan and no, at the hosta. As many examples, the Union be a said you be Tikon Crackran, a bonama, a more cracky. You see, Bessine in 2-1 and Mombia, we required or no, the American was in the Bono, a police headquarters, any more okay, and so they needed to Amina, a kind of Musa. But in the last 1 year, in an American, so okay. Mwanka samoho UTV mshuwa na moya na memenda nipa bed ya na bora ho mbe ho basa no yinya hu mwaye from court it's me court boy e fine omo even though ye nyina so no nanti hu ni say I think punishment ni Stefano it's one step forward out of nothing into nanke that bon FM so say kaya obusu ko to share radio show host while the show was running. Fortunately a camera was also there to make capture. I think many of these incidents and then coupled with the fact that the frequency of the attacks by journalists so from no and aboa in that regard, and then the political also squeeze or indicator no so who say a little change so Abemo or the rate at which politicians, influence capture the media and emotion behind Kakra, even though in reality or in practice, we are not seeing that much. But all in all, what we say is that a year puntu, compared to the previous year.
Krobia Sante, Mimi Sao, this year, election year. Any brafipa, Edumane Babe Din, Center for Ruben AC team play what this election year no more.
Well, I was said coming back to the table to also share what is expected, what the masses and DNA nipa kunu share free Center for do abattoir. Number 1. Nipa koko tunabano or pursue a dear who na mention Twaba. Say, what are the foregoing issues that may require, new na minfenina son Twaba? Yes, say Central 4 has the power to set the agenda. We should pick everybody or person or didn't who or say Twaba manano. Na yentimi yi nsem mpie baby o man nigina say no. You see kasem no atwa nkura ko school yesi ayi free teachers so omukwa no masa aba betena fie adwuma ho asema yedin, and those are the issues. Number 1, I would say the media is supposed to present the key issues that affect nipa kuodo na no na fe yem force nipa for person ogina franka na ogina na to abama no ne yehwe ni nsem o wo ka wo ho. So I would say it may bring those issues out. Number 2, I would say process of abattoir na nkata no say memfa hin registration because we ha card be na memfa person ko registration say those are also very key aspects of Central Warfare, because exercising our franchise or exercising our right to vote, to choose leaders, to make decisions are very crucial. And then not buy a woman no nke was Central Food to me boy. Thirdly, na atro misinformation and disinformation no so appropriate. We say na no just elections ya bon say e ko fa video bi free Togo obi dina ballot box one was a paper or shame na obi so fa no dia so Ghana ECC what this party is doing, and Ghana is the party we are now cool with you know, in for you say video no free if you Togo for to about MPs, you know, and as I video no free one mobile. I was saying some for the team digina na ye fact checking a lot of the viral claims. Those are the necessary areas, you know. I was see a team here. Obviously, Messi schools say, Messi nine say, my way say, who do rather say no 2 foot go among for any. And near your point say, or the companion, so they are better was a waste my say, so I say. I was say, yes, we fact check also. We fact check, go to the ground and verify and show, say, I'm Papa, we say, why you say, no correct. You who say video bin nam, in same bin and nam say, nipa e pe no correct na bo mo matimi atoaba. And also so ye baby I was say your manner and central for emoni ko hunu. That means is very important.
Krobia Sante enkomo ho nti we de election year ya no anya brama na oba studio na ya to ankomo no so pa why
Massive.
Krobia Kweku Asante ye senior programs officer Media Foundation for West Africa and no bon komo no Rebecca Ekpe, the public affairs officer. My beautiful Rebecca is still here. Now, can journalists, your welfare, say what's a doing ranomo, a chance and chop for Kaye, and Twasu Honomo.
Here, na. My name is Opa say make something on elections. One answer, Obe do one answer.
The welfare, you for welfare. No, if you run out, you're back the other side.
I think that welfare of journalists, no, it's very important. Not only journalists, but for the workers in general.
Okay. Because
welfare, no, equals productivity. It's very important that journalists are taken care of. Very, very important that we take care of them. And I think that every now and then when we have the opportunity now, say apart from young journalists also taking care of ourselves, wherever we work, it's also important that media owners take care of the journalists very well.
No, GJ, Roby play.
Very important. A lot of the times, media engagements with media owners. Yes. Behind the scenes, some have been done to drive home this issue about it is very important to take care of the journalists.
Yeah, my training.
Important say. Journalists, because and also boa journalists productive. Give you of the best.
Okay.
Intuition here. Also give you up the best, and then also stay away from being compromised. So what's here? Because compromise comes in where one share in year, not just obefa baby fufro. But so we share in year, it's obvious. Say you've taken care of the journalists and taking care of the journalists very well. It to avoid all other.
And so job baby Ghana has say and some where GJ.
Something that the GJ has talked about. I wouldn't say Mr. Junfo, one of the hallmarks and the campaign messages was welfare of journalists. And every now and then, every time that he gets the opportunity, he talks about it. Anytime he has media engagements with media owners, he talks about the fact
that of course grounds. Because in media and young can go. Ye be move a chichi near mom for Munyabro. Of course grounds community.
It is something that we talk about. And if I don't know, say you have noticed, but a lot of the time, so we have a lot of engagement with media. Even during training, we invite the journalists from Baby Omo and delving into. Let me just go straight away to the issue about elections. Now, for example, training before journalists on election reportage.
Okay,
and we've gone round the various regions, almost trained over 150 journalists. During such times, we have engagements with them. We have engagements with ownership, and when we have the opportunity. And so every now and then, these things happen. Training is also one way to build the capacity of the journalists in order to make them give up their best and to make them and position them well in their job and their field of work. Training them also, especially for election. Training them, especially training for election 2024. As I said, we are training about 150 plus journalists all over the 60 regions of Ghana with the support of the US Embassy. We are training them on election reportage issues like that and how to position themselves to be able to report, professionally.
About
As Mr. Krobi Asante earlier, the issues, there are issues that journalists know. I was say, remind you, remind you, especially especially election say one of the things Mr. Krobi Asante misinformation, disinformation, will be video na and once or there who you know or
post
and no sanya mane enye ade a eboa ye djuma ne say ye be check across check and then one of the things are ye kai in Central for say ye ko ye nima ye ko elections he say bibia obehu bia na we say we check cross check yen say hu ya na we forward because obi obe put that information out there no agenda bia we put it out and there are so many we have international examples and go for put out information during elections just our okra interest into one way juma as a journalist and as a central producer morning show host to evening show host to whatever I was so cross checking that information way. And one of the issues so I kai journalists during the season they say we should do more of less sensationalism and focus more on less sensationalism and focus more on and then less controversy. Sometimes
so creative controversy
not journalists
somebody
who obi feel say bia me the way tibom na che say odi tibom no na che say ene krakra ne den at the end of the day no e den kra na wa achieve
papa say kromi
ene ye den otimase ene ye den ye juma no. What is our purpose? Then I was here insecure for the intina me no yet ha. Yeah, educating ye informing. Say they be obi beti na wa peki bibi wom. E dia ye juma ebe tumpo. Enye ade de basa yo beba. Say the basa yo beba and say we are not doing the right thing. That's not then we are not doing our work well. And then say na many will space aye we and what's ye waste space na no press freedom day na ye can to draw attention to the issues that confront us and the need for us to guard and protect our space we freedom of expression it's free but constitution say it comes with responsibilities inti me no ye di nkomo ne ye kasa ne ye nya microphone ne ye kai say I was see a protected emre bi no na entisa ye nim story about Rwanda ne abasa yo ne others by omo anyi Ghana ha be che say some time ago no near friend no culture of silence
oh yes that time I want me to so
maybe I know it is that time na etwem and then we what we are calling pluralistic media first na ka GBC nko and then you despite you Joy FM so many you can't even count. And personal platforms and our portals. So we need to protect the space. What you say you be free, you be to me yepe. But say ye kasane ye digi ba. Omo in charge, we'll find a way to sort of safeguard it. So we shouldn't allow them. We have to protect that space. The last thing I'll say about this, they say, we also have to talk about policy issues. One of the things journalists yen tiny some of the media houses in China and say they are only talking about sometimes niama osha and I say ye sre ne asa ya kani asre and I say ya can in some nye issues are
say entertaining kakra
no main customer and here entertainment very important. Because you can't always be, you have to have entertainment to balance your life. It's very important for your mental health, you and I. But what I'm saying is, for example, I was saying, let me give you a typical example straight. Yebeko elections o. Sisi no EC or timetable. Me no any public no. As journalists, we need to educate the public about the election processes. For example, I know that in May, omo limited voter register. But enkrofo bebre ense dey nim. As journalists, one of our responsibilities is to provide information and educate the public. It is very important say election ye ko say no. Ye to make church processes. And a ballot box where we say and I say it's not enough to bring NDC and MPP because we make the same things. It is very important say you be educate the public about the election processes and I knew my was so moye.
Okay.
Journalists your responsibility. No one can somewhere then informed decision about policies. No.
Okay.
What am I saying?
Now yeah brand but issue back and ofan na say the moye okofodua na ekoyie pa because about environment ade ba ko ha Ghana galamsey too I mean bi atwam asensenchofo na e kan pa radio stations e Ghana bebre TV stations online portals pase say obi akana no atumdin onti galamsey ho asembiem ade so kwa na ekoso senchofo role be play or because environment wants some the namukra mode tuja ampa yenzo say ye kwaye say enchiri madachima
asem na okan no ampa so utie president Mr. Jumfo GJ president okay so we are reigniting the conversation and going back to and mekane earlier say yebeko back say we'll go and reignite the conversation with about protecting the environment. Was see no more. Or cancer issue na kai journalists say was say you have a discussion. Young journalists now was say setting the agenda about protecting the environment because we are not doing a lot of that and we need to be doing it. In fact, he did mention that today. Oboso say yes sir. Yes, set the agenda on the conversation about protecting Ghana's environment and our water bodies because that's what we're living. We live in that environment and we need to protect it. Into saying protect here, we need to. Into your bokaye, say you're protecting the environment.
Okay.
It's, very important that we do that and set that agenda.
Yo, yeah, Braniko, o camera in Ghana and St. George show. Public Affairs Officer for GJ. As we try to catch Ghana and Central for.
I think that I was a journalist for Basso. Journalist was a journalist Basso. Because I mean we're doing a lot. We can still do a lot more. We're doing a lot. One of the things that mechanics say as we inch up to election 2024, there's a lot that we can do. We need to safeguard our democracy. Bibia ebia no yankai say Ghana no yenya yedia. Say microphone say oh ye blogger say oh ye morning show host anything at all. We need to remember ekai say bibia yebe can bia no. Say the ebe can no very important and we need to protect the democracy. We already know that around us nyano there are about 4 countries now in West Africa alone that are not in a good place. And as we've heard even the president of Ghana, Kai, recently, say, we had we had this day, Workers' Day first. Okay, I said this election will be a test to of Ghana's democracy. And as journalists know, and as the media know, we are also a stakeholder. In fact, we are the 4th estate of the realm until we have a role to play. So let's remember that we need to protect our democracy. And let me also say that we have the Africa Media Convention, the African version of the World Press Freedom Day, coming up 15th to 17th of May at the Accra International Conference Center. In fact, it is one of the largest gatherings of media fraternity in Africa. Amanone journalists will be brave. Right now, what we are saying is that we need local participation. Every media should remember that we have a role to play from the 15th to the 17th of May to support freedom of expression. There's going to be the Africa Media Convention here in Accra, Ghana. Edamwase.
Moni Ejuma.
Thank you.
I was for any Rebecca Ekpe. And say Edina no.
Sir.
Okay. Only a public affairs officer at my Ghana Journalists Association. And they in central for we are seeing yada. Enti dear home and come kakra. CP, my beautiful Rebecca.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I was young Cassia Shassier. Ote Minua Kwame, Osu Adriemi, Enka. Na men na production team na say na utwumunyina o mabo twuma nkasa na wa hwe wa hwe YouTube abrebia mo hwe Facebook social media platform so na men hyira munyina mo nkoso hwe YouTube sanse hanna ne pani nyina wo YouTube. It's all about you. So for me David Ofori Safo Bongo Difara. Nyame adoma ebresem ebesane mo diesha. Yakra munyina.